Originally, I was going to make this a video trying to calm the fire that started around Bayonetta 3 and Helena Taylor. But as more news come out, I have to speak my mind clearly. Bayonetta 3 is less than a week away, and purchasing it has become a morality issue on Twitter. I'm going to go in depth why I believe that truly isn't the case. Helena Taylor's exposed post has completely ended and ruined her own career, and I feel that the new info that has come out has completely destroyed everything that she has tried to take a stand and fight for.
The Bayonetta franchise made an approximated $450 million. That's not including merchandise.
Starting from the beginning of her first video, she exclaims that Bayonetta has made $450 million. Not including merchandise sales. This number is ridiculously high. The Bayonetta series as a whole has only sold about 2.5 million copies and has extremely poor first week sales. So most of these copies are prices while on sale. So even if I gross estimate this at $60, it's still way below this number. Keep in mind for a bit later about her numbers. They're not really always accurate.
The final offer to do the whole game as a buyout, a flat rate, was $4,000 US.
Using the news from the Bloomberg article, it was mentioned that she was actually offered $4,000 per session, but it has been stated in the past that her Bayonetta 2 sessions were done in 4 sessions, and this game would be 4 to 5, which would have led her to $15K. Now, I want to give her the benefit of the doubt and say she messed up on her numbers again, but that's a pretty bad mess up, honestly. Especially since we know what we know now. We'll get to that.
I am asking the fans to boycott this game.
This, in my very honest opinion, is just selfish. This is when the watcher's morality gets called into question. Even without the context of the Bloomberg article, this ignores the countless hours the devs put into this game, which has been worked on for almost 5 years. If this boycott worked, which it just straight up isn't going to, it could have cost the jobs of numerous innocent game devs, which I will talk about a little more later. If we include the context of the Bloomberg article, this just looks embarrassing for her, to be honest. Like, it's bad.
And instead, spend the money that you would have spent on this game donating it to charity.
The fact that she couldn't even list a specific charity also shows that she's trying to get the moral high ground here, but that's just my perspective. You can disregard it if you want, but she still hasn't provided any charities to this day.
I didn't ask for too much. I was just asking for a decent, dignified living wage.
Referring to the Bloomberg article once again, she asked for 6 figures. While we can debate all day on what a living wage is, we can also say asking for that much for a niche video game series is a lot. Doing a main character or not, this franchise has been dying throughout its entire lifespan. And if anything, you making this video just solidified its future success. So, thanks, I guess.
What they did was legal, but it was immoral.
When I first heard this is when I decided to make this video. Morality can be used in many different ways, and by this first video, you've already manipulated over 10 million people. And it doesn't get any better with the rest of these videos.
But if you're someone who cares about people, who cares about the world around you, who cares about who gets hurt with these financial decisions, then I urge you to boycott this game.
Twitter is a very sensitive place, and saying all this once again tests that morality those people have. When you say things how Helena said them here, it makes people believe that if you don't follow this side, then you are wrong, which is disgustingly black and white thinking. Once you start to think more about this story, and hopefully after this video, the grayer it becomes.
I decided to do it to stand up in solidarity with people all over the world who do not get paid properly for their talents.
This part doesn't make sense to me at all. If you are doing this to help people get paid more, then I completely understand, but why lie? This destroys your argument because most people will just write you off and voice actors will continue to get paid like garbage. Recent reports of other series voice actors getting paid horribly for their work has brought light to this, and this has put a huge spotlight to it with mainstream attention. If you really wanted to help, you would have thought more about this, but now you further damage any change just because you want more moral high ground and overall just being petty.
It impacts mental health. Because of it, I suffered from depression and anxiety. I worried that I was going to be on the streets. That terrified me so much that once I was suicidal.
I'm only putting this in the video because I don't want people commenting even the idea of using this as a way to gain moral high ground. I don't ever want to imply anybody's lying about their mental health. And I do believe that it did affect her in that way. You should too.
I'm not afraid of the non-disclosure agreement. I can't even afford to run a car. What are they going to do? Take my clothes?
This right here just ruined any chance of future roles and essentially killed her career. I once again do not know what she is gaining by making these videos. She will continue not to have any money because of them, so what's the point? Especially if the articles are true about her lies.
So I got a friend who has been in business in Japan to write in Japanese to him. I know he read it because I got a reply. I got a reply saying that he values greatly my contribution to the game and that the fans really want me to voice it over, and the memory of first meeting me as Bayonetta is a memory I hold dear. So I thought, great, thank God. That was when they offered me $4,000 US.
Sorry though for the long clip of lies, but you see, it would be extremely helpful if she would just show proof that any of these conversations happened. She already broke NDA and said herself that she has nothing to lose, so why is this still a he said she said argument? Even with the tweets that she sent after the fact, she still did not provide any proof.
Do you know, Platinum had the cheek to say that I was busy, that they couldn't make it work with Miss Taylor's schedule. Well, I had nothing but time.
When it comes to Platinum's quote-unquote lies of her being busy, I didn't really take it as lies, as they could have been just trying to be discreet about the conflict. But this part of the story is where everything messes up, and is to this day why this is still a he said she said story. Either claim could still be corroborated with evidence, but none has been presented as of right now. But most people have already turned on Helena, so whatever, I guess.
They now have a new girl voicing her over. And I love actors. I wish her all the joy in the world. I wish her all the jobs, but she has no right to say she is the voice of Bayonetta. I created that voice. She has no right to sign merchandise as Bayonetta.
During my first watch, this made me realize that Helena might not be in the right here. She's completely thrown Jennifer Hale under the bus, and because of it, has sent an enormous amount of hate to her. She has since responded, which we will get to.
They'll probably try and do a spin-off with Jan. Don't buy that either.
Why are you spoiling this? Just as a fan speaking, this just irked me, and I know Jean fans feel the same way. Her last video is just a biblical story. I'm not gonna touch on that. Now that I've gone through all the different issues in her videos, I would like to talk about a couple more things before I end this video. Jennifer Hale has made her statement saying that she's under NDA, but is also emphasizing that there's two sides of the story, which is most recently backed by Platinum in their statement. She's even gone as far as retweeting the articles about pay, which looks horrible for Helena. Jennifer receives so much unnecessary hate because of Helena, and because of that, even if she ends up being right in the end, she isn't as morally correct as she thinks she is. What everyone has to realize is that this situation is morally gray because of the witch hunts Helena made. Ha ha! And the supposed lies that Platinum told. We just have no proof on what anyone is saying, so attacking people just isn't the right move. Me personally, I want to believe Helena, but there's just too much against her, and it all doesn't make sense. People that have told me that self-interest always outweighs morality. I personally think that this situation is the same thing. This was the end of the thoughts I had put together before she made her response. Everything else that she is saying is honestly nonsense at this point, and isn't worth deep diving. She confirmed herself that the money was what the Bloomberg article was, and everyone has turned on her, making it harder to voice actors everywhere. Thanks, Helena. I'm gonna enjoy buying and playing Bayonetta 3. Thanks for watching, guys.